Welcome to Summit Up this January 19th, 2022, as I continue in my sermon series, Mentor Like Jesus. I'm very serious about this topic now. I don't know if it's because I'm aging a little bit and starting to think about my legacy and what I leave behind more, or if it's just something that's entered in my brain over the last little while. But the reality is that Christianity is built upon mentoring, discipleship. In our world today, possibly the best term to use is apprenticeship. Apprenticeship has the idea that you learn. My first internship, was in Northside Christian Church, where I learned under Robin Hart and the wonderful Christian people at Northside Christian Church. It wasn't just about getting information, it was about formation. It was about me becoming something that I was intended to be, but something that I wasn't quite yet. That's really what discipleship is. It's becoming what God wants us to be. My message this past week was about the secret sauce. Jesus' secret sauce. He worked with groups. It's interesting, in the 20th century, we focused an awful lot on one-on-one personal evangelism. But when you look at the Gospels, it's obvious that Jesus dealt with groups much more often than he dealt with individuals. Not that he didn't deal with individuals, but his most common modus operandi was to work with crowds, with groups. Sometimes big groups, thousands, sometimes small groups, the 12, or possibly even the 3. My question for you today is, are you part of a group? Or let me ask you this, have you ever been a part of a group to where the connection was sort of magical? I mean, that kind of group to where everything just clicked and there were relationships that were formed that lasted for years. I was blessed to have a discipleship group as I was in Bible college my senior year, and it's a group of guys, and quite frankly, we just got together and prayed for each other and things in each other's lives. And it was astonishing to see the connections that we developed and to see God's hand working in the midst of the lives of each and every one of us. Paul and I were blessed when I went to the Northside Christian Church full time. And after we got married, we had a group of young adults that were all in similar life situations. Most of us had just gotten married, and were starting to have kids, and those connections were magical. When you look at groups, whether life groups or discipleship groups or accountability groups, the group affords us the opportunity to connect with other individuals. I've led many groups in my ministry over the last 32 years, and sometimes I connect greatly with everybody in the group, and sometimes I don't. And sometimes the relationships that are fostered within the group continue throughout the ages. I think about my first really close youth group in youth ministry, and those kids are still close today. And it's because they had shared experience, they went through life together. My challenge in the midst of this is to contemplate being part of a group and leading a group. It doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you're willing to share what Jesus has done for you. And this is important because if we're going to continue Christianity into the next year, into the next decade, into the next generation, we have to produce more Christians, more strong Christians. And what God has done in your life is valuable to somebody else. Have a wonderful day. God bless.